Good afternoon or evening, depending on your time zone, and welcome to Deck Tech Daily. If you're new to Magic the Gathering Arena or need a little bit of guidance, then this is the channel for you. Today we are looking at a mono-white aggro deck in the standard format best of one. This deck is pretty easy to follow. It's also somewhat used in the meta, so it is very effective and has a lot of potential. And if you play it right, it can definitely get you to Diamond and potentially Mythic rank. It's also very budget friendly. My variation of the deck only has 12 rares and 0 mythic rares, and if you really need to, you can swap out a couple of the rares for an uncommon card that does the same thing, and it'll still be just as effective. So let's take a closer look at the deck and see how it works. So the 1-drop creatures, the Lightstall Inquisitor, this is just a minor inconvenience for our opponent. When you play it, your opponent has to exile a card, and if they want to play that card, they have to play 1 more mana in order to cast that card. So like I said, just a minor inconvenience. The Optimistic Scavenger, this is definitely the main creature of this deck. I've seen people use variations of this deck where they only use the Optimistic Scavenger and buff it up with a ton of enchantments, and it becomes like a 10/10 creature with flying, and it wipes the opponent. So the ability of it is whenever you fully unlock a room or cast an enchantment, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. This deck obviously has a ton of enchantments, so it's going to get very powerful, and like I said, this is probably the main win con of the deck. Let's continue. The Veteran Survivor, this card lets us exile a creature from our opponent's graveyard, so if you're playing up against a Reanimator deck, which basically means your opponent has a strategy that lets them bring a really powerful creature back from their graveyard, this card is very useful for destroying that strategy. Let's continue. The 2-drop creatures, a Most Helpful Weaver. Yeah, this is technically an enchantment saga. However, stage 1, it does create a 2/1 green spider creature token. Stage 2, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. Stage 3, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Also, this is an enchantment, and you want as many enchantments on the field as possible. I'll explain why later on. So the next creature, the Spellbook Vendor, this one's interesting because at the beginning of combat, you can pay 1, and when you do, it creates a Sorcerer Roll token, which you attach to a creature. And that is an enchantment. Like I said, you want as many enchantments as possible. And basically, the enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and whenever you attack, scry 1. The next 2-drop creature, the Wonderweave Aerialist, War 2, so it's very effective against removal type decks, and it has flying as long as it's modified. Basically, if it has an equipment or a +1/+1 counter on it is what modified means. Let's continue. Now on for the enchantments that buff. We have 12 of them. The Ethereal Armor, enchant creature. It gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. This is what I was talking about when I said you want as many enchantments on the field as possible. So if you have, let's say, a couple of the Most Hopeful Weaver, you create the enchantment token with a Spellbook Vendor, and you have a couple of these other enchantments, the enchantment creature you have can potentially get like +5/+5, +6/+6 or something like that. So that's why this is a very useful enchantment to have. The Shardmage's Rescue, this has flash, so it basically means you can cast it at instant speed. And when you enchant the creature with this, it gets +1/+1 and hexproof, but hexproof just for that turn. So if you're playing up against a removal deck, that's very useful. The Feather of Flight is our next enchantment. Flash, so it basically means instant speed, and the enchanted creature gets +1 and has flying. So let's go on to the removals/enchantments. Seam Rip, remove a non-land permanent an opponent controls a mana value 2 or less. I have 3 of them in this deck. I swiped out one of them with Get Lost, because Get Lost lets you destroy a creature, an enchantment, or a planeswalker. So it has a lot more versatility compared to Seam Rip, which it has to be mana value 2 or less that you're removing. Whereas Get Lost, there's no limit. If your opponent gets lucky and somehow gets out like a 5-mana creature, obviously you can't remove it with Seam Rip. That's why I figure Get Lost might be more useful. But this is a rare, so this is what I was talking about, where if you want to swipe out Get Lost for another Seam Rip, that can work too. Okay, so next enchantment, or removal enchantment, I should say, Sheltered by Ghosts. You enchant a creature, it gets +1/+0, has lifelink, War 2, and you can exile any non-land permanent your opponent controls. Now onto the lands. The Abandoned Air Temple, This is also, you can swipe this land out. It's a rare for just another basic planes if you really need to. I just figured it's pretty useful because for 4 mana you can tap it and it adds a +1/+1 counter to all creatures you control. So let's take a look at the gameplay and see how this deck works. Also, the deck link is in the description. Mono White Aggro, standard format, best of 1, match number 1. So we get to go first. The Survivor, 2 Aerialists, a Shardmage's Rescue. Okay, I shall keep Plains and begin off with the Veteran Survivor. So yeah, we're playing up against a Reanimator deck. The Survivor, at the beginning of your second main phase, if this creature's tapped, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. And as long as 3 or more cards were exiled by this creature, it gets +3/+3 and hexproof. Okay, so they played Fabled Passage. Doesn't really tell us much about what kind of deck they're playing. Let's see, so I guess I'll begin off with a... Well, not begin off, but I'll put an Aerialist on there. Swing for 2. They have nothing to exile from their graveyard. Maybe it's a... I'm going to guess a mono green? Yeah, a landfall deck. So they're probably... Well... a Golgari type of deck is what I'm guessing, which is the black and green combination. Maybe they're playing that... I forget the name of that dragon. Okay, so they exiled the Shardmage's Rescue with the bat. Okay. No worries. I'll play the Scavenger and the most helpful Weaver. So the enchantment will buff the... And... yeah, I'll swing with both of them. And if he tries to attack with the bat, then I can just block with the spider. Okay, so we got 1 exiled with the veteran. Let's see if we can get 3. Next turn, the Weaver will put a +1/+1 counter on a creature we have. Okay, see, every single green deck is going to have this Badger Mole Cub for the next, like, couple years at least. Okay, so what do I want to put the counter on? As... yeah, let me put it on the veteran, because I don't want him to die. Okay, so let me play another Weaver. And let's see. I'm going to put the Ethereal Armor, yeah, probably on the Scavenger. And I'm going to buff... yeah, I guess the Spider. And yeah, swing with everything I can. Oh, he's not blocking with anything? Okay, well, now he's down to just 2, so he has to play something this turn, otherwise it's over. He has when Badger... oh, there you go. Mono White Aggro, standard format, best of 1, match number 2. Okay, so we get to go first. Oh, Wizards of the Coast is being generous with us this time. Usually we'll go like 10 matches in a row and never go first. So, okay, I shall keep only 1 creature, which kind of sucks, but I shall have to make do, because I hate having the mulligan. Green and blue. Is it another, like, Simic aggro type of deck, I'm guessing? Yeah, that's very, very common. Everyone's playing that green and blue card with the Ouroboros, however you pronounce it in their deck. Okay, so let's see. So I guess I'm going to play the Feather of Flight. That'll buff it and let me draw a card. Swing for 3. Two Ethereal Armors, that's good. And the Shardmage's Rescue. Let's see, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, so I think, because now the veteran has flying, I'm just going to go all in with the enchantments. So, going to throw another Ethereal Armor on there. Another Ethereal Armor. And probably... I don't know. Do I... Do you think he has removal? Because, let's see. If I play this, it'll give the Veteran Survivor become a 10-8. Plus, each Ethereal Armor will boost it. So it'll be a 13-10. You know what? Just in case he does have removal, I'm going to hold back. Because the Shardmage's Rescue does give it hexproof. And I can flash it in. So yeah, I'm just going to swing with this. And yeah, in turn, so I'll keep my 1 mana for the Shardmage, just in case he does have Get Lost or something like that. Which he does not. Good. Easy win. Mono White Aggro, standard format, best of 1, match number 3. Okay, we get to go first again. Oh, that's very generous of Wizards. Survivor, like... How come I'm never getting the Scavenger in my opening hand? It's always the Veteran Survivor. I only have 2 of them in this deck, whereas I have 4 of the Scavengers. Oh, interesting statistics. So, yes, I shall keep. Let's see. Lightstall Inquisitor I'll begin with. This will very minorly inconvenience our opponent. Candy Trail. When it enters Scry 2, then you can pay 2, sacrifice it, and gain 3 life and draw a card. Okay. I shall play the most helpful Weaver so I can get the Spider out and get this Saga going. Swing for 2. Red and green. Another Candy Trail. I don't think I've seen someone use this card in their deck before. Enters Scry 2. Yeah, he's digging for something. I don't know what. So I'll put the counter on... yeah, maybe the Inquisitor. I don't think it matters too much at the moment. And let's see. I'll play the Survivor. Yeah, let me go ahead, pay the Feather of Flight. The Spider has reach, so I'm going to put the Feather of Flight on the Inquisitor. And I can draw a card. Swing for 6 now. Okay, so he did the impending on the Overlord. Oh, so I can give a creature double strike. Yeah, he has no mana or anything to protect him, so I'm gonna... Okay, there you go. Mono White Aggro, standard format, best of 1, match number 4. We go first. Oh, this is like there must be a glitch in Wizards code or something. For me to go first this often, especially with an aggro type of deck, that's... Yeah, like, I guess their software engineers must have really messed up or something. However, I am heavily benefiting from it, so I'm not complaining. Here it is, the Scavenger in our opening hand, 2 Aerialists. Okay, I shall keep. Begin off with the Scavenger. I'm thinking of like ways to modify this deck and make it better. So far it is doing pretty good. I might swap out one of the Wonderweave Aerialist for another enchantment. Okay, so we're up against a Boros tokens aggro type of deck. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Aerialist. I can't attack just yet, so I have a Shelter by Ghosts, another Aerialist. Okay. I want to save the Shelter by Ghosts in case he plays like Arabella, that card, which is pretty common in the red and white decks. Yeah, he's paying the 2 mana just to give it a +1/+1 counter, which is fine. So yeah, no blocks. Okay, so now he's wide open, so... I guess I shall play another Aerialist. Just in case he plays removal, I'm going to keep the Shardmage's Rescue. Same plan as before. I enchant a creature and gets it hexproof and +1. So I'll swing for 3. The Hired Claw isn't that much of a threat, so I'm not worried about it. I could get the Survivor on the field, though. Decisions, decisions. Do you think he's going to play removal next turn or another creature? Yeah, even cards like... Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, let's go ahead and play the Survivor. That way if he does play like... Okay, so let's see. Let's just wait and see. The Nova Hellkite. Okay. That's fine. Like, it's going to go back to his hand because he warped it in. Yeah, no blocks. I'm not worried. Because he can't play it permanently unless he has 5 mana. Okay, so now let's see where we're at. Two, three, four. I can swing. Thing is, I'm down to 10 though. Because he might play another land. Then he'll have 4 mana. He might. There's quite a few red cards he can play that are pretty good. So yeah, let me go ahead and Sheltered by Ghosts, the Scavenger. Let me go ahead and get this. Yeah, Hired Claw out. Just in case he has removal. Well, let me see. If I play this, it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still not enough to win. So, gonna swing with everything. Oh, I guess he did not have the cards needed to win. Mono White Aggro, standard format, best of 1, match number 5. We go... Okay, see... Now you know it's a glitch in their programming. You go first again. Scavenger to the vendor. Okay, I shall definitely keep. Hey, will this be 5 wins in a row? Like, we shall see. It looks like he's mulliganing. Did he do it once or twice? Now, this is definitely a string of good luck. You know, it seems like I'm on a roll, so I'm definitely liking this deck so far. Then again, maybe it's only performing so well because, as I said, there's a glitch in their programming where Wizards of the Coast actually allows me to go first. So, like I said, that has never happened. So, either I am just the luckiest person on the planet today, or there's a glitch in their programming. It's one or the other. I'm not sure if they're stalling out or what. Oh, they mulligan twice. Yeah, so they only have 5 cards in their opening hand. Begin off with the Scavenger. He must have a very specific strategy he's trying to play, so let's see what it is. Starting town, okay. Typically, you wouldn't see starting town in like a monocolored deck. This is more for multicolor decks. If they're running like 3 colors or more, you would see starting town there because it lets you pay a life and add a mana of any color. Okay, so that's fine. Let's see. I guess, yeah, the most helpful lever. Get the spider out. And we have the Spellbook Vendor we can play next turn. Okay, so this is, yeah, the Hobgoblin flying in haste. That's fine. It has flying, but I have the spider that can help, so. Okay, so I don't want to waste Sheltered by Ghosts on this. Whenever you discard a card, it gets +2 until end of turn. I wish I had a third land, but unfortunately I do not. So instead I'm just, yeah, going to play the Vendor. Yeah, I'm going to swing for 3. I don't think he's going to block. He only has 3 cards in hand. Because, yeah, he mulliganed twice. So red, black, maybe like a Rakdos type of deck, I'm guessing. What's... yeah. He did nothing that turn. Creature gains double strike until... okay. He might have some type of removal, which is fine because we have 2 Shardmage's rescue. So I guess, yeah, let me put this on the spider. Okay, so now he has double strike for this turn. I feel like he has something. He mulliganed all those times. I'm sure there was something specific. Okay, so... okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna swing with these 2. Yeah, I'm gonna pay 1 for the... I know he's going to block the spider, so I'm not even going to bother putting the Sorcerer Roll enchantment on him. Now I can scry 1. Yeah, I guess I'll keep the Aerialist on top. See what he blocks. Does he not have removal, maybe? I mean, he only has 2 mana. But still, there's a lot of, like, black cards that, you know, can removal. Like, Shoot the Sheriff is one of them. No? I guess not. Oh, he didn't block. Let's see. If I flash this in, that'll make the spider 4/4 with double strike. It'll do 8 damage. 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I'll just attack because I... in case he does play some type of removal, I can flash in the Shardmage's rescue. And then next turn I can just... oh, there he goes. Wow, what is this string of good luck that's happening? Mono white aggro, standard format, best of 1, match number 6. Okay, 6 matches in a row where we go first. Like, you know that Wizards, someone in their programming department messed up. Okay, so Scavenger, the Shardmage, I shall keep. Begin off with the Scavenger. If we win this, we'll get to Diamond Tier 3. Okay, so the Gene Pollinator, of course. Let me think. Should I start attacking? I can play the Feather of Flight. Also let me draw a card and that'll change us to... Then I can buff, because it'll have flying, so I can buff him some more. Decisions. Okay, you know what? Yeah. Hopefully he'll block with the Pollinator and I can flash in the Shardmage's Rescue that way. Okay, so I'm going to play the Inquisitor. That will make our opponent exile. Okay, so he exiled that land, so it minor inconvenienced them. Now here's what I'm going to do. Swing. Hopefully he did not block. I don't think he has removal in this deck, so... Yeah, I'm going to flash this in. Yeah, so he's copying the... Drunith. That's her name. Okay, so... I'm gonna Feather of Flight the Scavenger. Nah, I wanted a 1-drop enchantment. Let's see. Yeah, just swing with the Scavenger. The Badger Mole Cub, okay. Oh yeah, so he copied it, so drew it, okay. Shoot, that's definitely an inconvenience, because that has flying. So he tapped everything so he could fully unlock the Innkeeper's talent. To put all the counters. Okay. He drew a land. As long as he doesn't have the Ouroboros card, whatever, then we should be fine. It's fine, let that hit, no big deal. Shoot, we are not getting the draws we need, unfortunately. Let's see. So this is 5. If I play the Vendor, I'll pay the 1 so it creates the token. That'll make Scavenger 6. Plus the Sorcerer's Roll will give it +1/+1. So that'll make it 7. Still not enough to win, though. Yeah, I'm gonna put everything on the Scavenger. I forgot, he has the Siren too that can block. Yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, I don't think... This might be our first loss, unfortunately. The only way we can win at this point is, let's see, so 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Will this work? I don't know. Oh, what? Did I miss? Look at that. I miscounted, and that ruined the whole match, unfortunately. Well, that was it for the demonstration of the mono-white aggro deck in the standard format best of one. Overall, this deck is pretty great and pretty simple to use. You just throw a bunch of 1 and 2 drop creatures at your opponent, buff them up with enchantments, remove them with other enchantments, and then the only time you really have to think is if you're playing against a deck where they have like removal in it, so you want to hold back on playing like the Shardmage's Rescue, because when you flash this in, it does give your creature hexproof until the end of that turn. And as I said about making this deck cheaper, the Abandoned Temple, I don't think I've used this yet. For 4, you tap it and it adds a +1/+1 counter to each creature, because this deck is pretty fast-paced. You kind of want to win by turn 4 or 5 at the very latest. So you could potentially swipe that out for another just basic land. And the Get Lost, that's another rare. If you really want to, you can swipe that out with a Seam Rip or something like that. So that way it's only 10 rares, 0 mythic rares. So like I said, pretty budget friendly. And as you saw in the diamond rank, I was ranking up pretty fast with this deck. So if you want to take this deck into consideration and maybe modify a bit, or just straight up copy the deck and use it for yourself, the deck list is in the description. If you have any ways or suggestions you feel this deck can be improved, feel free to leave it in the comments. I thank you very much for tuning in and hope you have a good day.